running?
Well, to serve the public. Being the sheriff to me is the greatest job in the world. You get to meet people, and the main thing is you get to help people. And over my 12 years as sheriff and my over 40 years of being at the sheriff's office, I hope I have been able to help a lot of people and to continue to do that and to continue to keep the programs that we've had going at the sheriff's office, both in the law enforcement end as well as on the community end, to keep serving the people. And that's it in a nutshell, to keep serving.
Yeah. What would be your top priority if you are reelected?
Well, certainly staffing. That is one of our top priorities. We've made some significant inroads in more staffing. We've hired over 200 people over the last year and a half, part-time, full-time, civilians staff. That, as well as strengthening our connection to the community, particularly the younger people. We're seeing a need now for kids to be reached, and I'm talking 4, 5, and 6 years old, because we're seeing 12 and 13-year-old kids being involved in some very serious crimes. So now we think we need to start focusing in on some younger kids, even in the grammar schools, daycare centers, but mainly to affect those parents of those kids, because it's more likely that a parent of a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old is more likely to have another child than a parent of a 15 or 16-year-old. So hopefully we can impact the life of that parent and that child, and maybe even future children that may come along. So we've partnered with a Head Start and other child care organizations to make those things a reality.
So let me ask you, because you have a track record, 12 years track record. When it comes to staffing, and you've lost people, what do you say when people ask why is that happening?
Well, it's a lot of things. We can go all the way back to the early out back in 2015, almost 9 years ago, that we're still suffering the ramifications of that. We lost almost 80 people within 3 months, and that's a lot of experience. Plus then you had the pandemic. Then you had the times of when people really weren't wanting to get into law enforcement. Law enforcement was not a profession that people wanted to choose to be in. We're starting to see that trend beginning to turn now. I recently hired a 19-year-old young lady that works in a grocery store that wants to come and work in law enforcement, and she wants to work at the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, and she's not even from Macon. So I think that's a very encouraging sign that we are getting people who are wanting to get in law enforcement as their first career. So we want to keep strengthening those efforts and keep attracting those individuals and becoming a leader in our region. We already started talking about giving raises to law enforcement. I had asked for a 6% raise for our line level deputies. I've already given raises over my terms as sheriff to all of our employees, and so we want to continue to do that, plus to attract. And I know in yesterday's State of the Community address, Mayor Miller even mentioned that he was going to give raises to all public safety as well as all county employees, and I think that is something that is much appreciated and something that is overdue and much needed to make Macon-Bibb government, particularly Macon-Bibb public safety, both sheriff's office, fire, any of the public safety entities of Bibb County, to make them more attractive to people in the surrounding areas to come to work here.
All right. Another priority, I'm sure, especially since October, is the jail. What do you think needs to be done to address the conditions in the jail?
Well, first and foremost, as I've said many times, we need a new jail. And I think the results of the escape have shown us of the conditions that are present in that facility, that it is time to consider it. And I want to thank the mayor and commissioners for considering that. Maybe that's going to be something on an upcoming SPLOST to consider a new jail. But in the meantime, we do have to work on the facility that we have. We've instituted new locking mechanisms. There is a lock system that we have now that is a magnetic lock system that wasn't even in existence for a facility like ours a couple of years ago. So we're changing out all of the old jail locks to that new electromagnetic system, and then just a regular maintenance. A jail is a place, think about an apartment complex or a house where somebody lives in it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, and nobody wants to be in a jail. Sometimes we have people in the jail who sort of will act out their displeasure about being in our facility and try to damage and be disruptive. So it's a constant maintenance issue, plus the age of the facility. We're every few months we're having to replace drainage lines, sewer lines, air conditioning systems, just because it's an old facility, and we don't have places in our facility now for special types of inmates. 45 years ago when that jail was built, 30% of the people in the jail did not have mental health and substance abuse problems. And then we have other individuals who want to be disruptive, and you need to have those places for those individuals to be isolated, as well as places for people that have mental health issues or substance abuse issues where that they can be treated, as well as going through the justice process. So we're working on those things every day. We've spent millions of dollars in the last few years of upgrading and maintaining our facility, and it's going to be an ongoing project for as long as we have this facility, and even after we go into a new place, it'll still need maintenance and work done on it. But I think the challenges that we have in the facility that we have now really calls for concentrated efforts on maintenance and keeping things up to par and running efficiently. And so we look forward to the day that someday there will be a new facility for our inmates and our staff.
I'm glad that you mentioned the justice process, the amount of people that we have in the jail for homicide, for example, compared to the number of convictions, so people moving through the process into prison seems to be not happening on the same level. So how would you characterize, or why do you think is there a lack of prosecution in Bibb County? We're talking about the district attorney's office.
Well, we work with the DA's office and the prosecution. They're parts and pieces to the criminal justice process. The deputies that I have, the investigators, and there are over 100 people in our jail charged with murder. And that is a testament to the hard-working investigators, and I can't say enough about how proud I am of our investigators that have made cases on every one of those 100+ inmates for murder. And so those cases are made based on probable cause. The district attorney has beyond a reasonable doubt. And we have enough evidence and enough information to believe that this person is responsible for that crime, enough to have that person arrested. A judge says, yes, that there is enough here to make an arrest. The next step is to compile all of that evidence, get everything together to go to an eventual trial that has beyond a reasonable doubt. And so there's a lot of things that go into that. There's forensic examination. The GBI is almost years behind in cases. The court system itself is behind because of COVID. So those things it's like an old-time freight train trying to get started. I think we're getting going now, and I think the system is moving along faster. There are cases that are moving through the system faster now, and we're probably going to have a backlog probably for another couple of years until we can get those cases into trial and into the court system and eventually adjudicated. And so we have the backlog now. But I am very proud of our investigators and the relationship that we have with the DA's office. We have meetings all the time. Our investigators, I sit in on them, DA Howard as well, to sort of plot strategy on what we need on these particular cases. So I'm not going to say that it's any one person's fault, because it's just the way the system is set up and the way the system is working now is what's causing some of the backlog. But I do see it beginning to move a little faster along. And you can ask the DA's office. I know they have prosecuted a number of cases. We've had some murder cases just here recently that have gone through, and had one of the individuals that was involved in escape, Mr. Fournier. Just recently, he was found guilty in his incident, and so he will be moving out of our jail, going on to prison here very soon.
Very good. The last question that I want to ask you is about your qualifications. What makes you I mean, you're the only one who has been sheriff before, so you have an edge.
Yeah, well.
But what makes you the most qualified to be Bibb County Sheriff?
Well, certainly I've been the sheriff for 12 years, and I've been at the sheriff's office for over 40 years, and just that connectivity to the community, the relationships that I have built in this community. There is not a neighborhood in this community that I've not been in. There's not a neighborhood in this community that I don't know people. And there's not very many people that I think in this community that don't have my cell phone number. And so I have a very close connection to a broad spectrum of our community. Really anywhere in Macon-Bibb, I know people and people know me, and we've built that connectivity, and people know that they can contact me, because no matter who the sheriff is the people's representative at the sheriff's office. And so the people need to know that that person who is the sheriff is going to look out for them when it comes to some type of conflict or some type of issue with the sheriff's office. So I stand in two worlds. I'm certainly part of the sheriff's office and will back my deputies and do what we need to do in that end, but I'm also a representative of the community, and the community's representative, that if they have issues with anything that we do, that they know they can come to me, and I'm going to look into it, and that I will be honest and open and straightforward and deal with whatever has happened. And if some of our people have to be held accountable, they'll certainly be done so. So it's just that relationship and all of the things that we have done. I mean, 4 years ago, we couldn't even have this meeting because we were into COVID. And the things that we have put into place since then, the technological, our intel unit, the camera, the monitoring systems that we have, the flock cameras, the shot spotter system, all of those things have just come over in the last 4 years. And so we're really starting to reap the benefits of all of that technology, and we want to expand upon that. And certainly we talk about the jail escape. Everybody wants to talk about the jail escape, and certainly as a sheriff, that is not something that a sheriff wants to do, to have 4 people leave your jail. But I cannot be more prouder of how our office came together. Jail people, investigators, everyone came together with a common purpose to bring those 4 individuals back to jail, and within a month's time, they were all back in custody, and none of them had done anything serious while they were out. And it was sort of the culmination of all of the technological tools and all of the partnerships that we have built with the federal authorities, FBI, ATF, DEA, GBI, all of our federal and state partners, as well as the intel resources that we have now, the flock cameras, the other monitoring capabilities, all came into play to capture those 4 inmates. And I can't be more proud of how our people worked on that tirelessly and affected that. So every case that we have, every outstanding murder case that we have, every case that we have uses those same tools to effect arrest. The ones we've had most recently, those tools have come into play to make arrests in every one of those cases, and I'm very proud of what our employees, what our team members, our deputies, and support staff are able to do with that. So I'm just so proud of that, and look forward to being able to expand upon that and to continue providing that service to our people.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add? Anything that I didn't ask that you would like to share?
Well, I think with the experience that I have, and I think people sometimes look at the sheriff as sort of like Mayberry, and I know that I try to portray that. Certainly I'm accessible, and if somebody comes into the office and they want to see me, I will certainly do all I can to see them or talk to them. But I make the comment, sometimes being the sheriff of a large agency, we have to remember the Bibb County Sheriff's Office has over 700 total employees. Not all of those are sworn, some of them part-time, but over 700 total employees. We're one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the state of Georgia. And a lot of what I do is really management of a large agency, of a large company, you might say. No matter whether we're providing sheriff's office law enforcement services, or we're providing warehouse services, or whatever that product may be, when you're looking at it in providing a service, you're still dealing with budgets, you have to deal with personnel, you have to deal with all of those different things that go into play, plus being a responsive person to the community. People can get a good idea of what it's like to be the sheriff. Watch Blue Bloods, the show Blue Bloods. Look at
CBS.
On CBS. Watch Blue Bloods on CBS, and you'll get a good idea about what it's like to be an executive in a large law enforcement agency. Certainly Commissioner Reagan goes out on the street sometimes and does things, but the things that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis, a thing that a law enforcement executive in any agency has to deal with, is those type things. You have great people, and we have great people that are out there riding the roads, working the wrecks, answering the calls, investigating the crimes. But the sheriff is the person that coordinates that, helps to get them the tools that they need through budgetary, through grants, through all of those things, and coordinates all of those systems and puts it in place. So you have to think of the sheriff as an executive officer, a chief executive officer of a large organization, and in that regard, certainly, I have the edge on everyone because I've came up through the sheriff's office and have been in leadership roles all the way up to the top, to include chief deputy. But then once you get to be sheriff, it's a whole together different. I thought I knew a lot being the chief deputy, but being the sheriff is a whole together different aspect of it, to where you have to know budget, you have to know personnel management, plus you have to learn to cooperate with other agencies. I'm a member of the State Joint Terrorism Task Force Executive Board. We meet quarterly with chiefs and sheriffs and state and national and federal officials from all over the state to discuss trends and discuss issues that we have. ATF, I'm a part of a task force with that. Plus, I sit on a juvenile justice state advisory board for funding and programs for our juvenile justice system, and that's the sort of thing that an executive leader does at a large law enforcement agency, and that's what I have experience doing that, and I think that puts me head and shoulders above anybody else that may would like to have the job.